High-risk investment. Trading on margin carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Before deciding to trade, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. The possibility exists that you could sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investment, and therefore you should not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. You should be aware of all the risks associated with trading and seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts. Market opinions. Any opinions, news, research, analyses, prices, or other information contained on this video is provided as general market commentary and does not constitute investment advice. MasterTheMarkets will not accept liability for any loss or damage, including without limitation to any loss of profit, which may arise directly or indirectly from use of or reliance on such information.
Okay, hello traders. Hopefully you can all hear me all fine, see my screen okay as well. Welcome to our live trading webinar. Today we're going to be taking a look at certain live trading positions. So our usual format in actually the live trading webinar, I'll see if I can put the video on as well. Just having some technical issues here, but hopefully they'll all be sorted. The main thing what we'll be looking today is for live trading positions over here, right? And then the other thing we'll be taking a look at is our topic for today in this big market meltdown or stock market crash. What should we be doing? Okay, how should we play this? Especially as for long-term positions and all of that. And finally, we will take a look at some questions and answers coming in as well. Okay, so let me just share the screen. I will start to take a look at some positions that are actually setting up at the moment according to our trend alignment tables. So let's take a look at this. Let me see also if I can also open up one of the other platforms over here as well. So let me see if I can get rid of one here. That's all right. Okay, good. So we got that one in place. Let me bring this over to here. Let's analyze all of this together. Let's see if we do get any trades on for today. Okay, so let me take a look. Right, so here I've got the GBP USD on the potential trade setting up. So let's take a look at this. So this was a downtrend phase one. I had written it all over here. So what we got here is, very quickly flicking through on the 4-hour, what I've got also is a downtrend phase 2 as well. Okay, so let's take a look at that as well. So let me write that all down. Those of you who are joining in for the first time, it's still up on here, founder of MasterTheMarkets Illustrates Conference and the Traders Open Day. So we'll be covering a lot of this on how we are doing and selecting these trades and everything on this session over here. And I'll give you some reference videos later on to take a look at on how we analyze all of these trades, okay? So over here, as I go back into here again, so I'll take a look at this. Do not worry about the first beginners joining in. If you're not sure some of the terminologies, I'll give you some reference materials later on, okay? So this is a downtrend phase 2 at the moment on the 4-hour. Why is it a phase 2? Because it's going against the trend, right? At the moment, the bottom has been confirmed according to our formulas, right? And then after that, this is going against the trend, which is then we call it as the phase 2. Okay, so this is what we are saying over here, right? So that's that one there. Now on the 1-hour, this is an uptrend phase 2 at the moment. Okay, this is what we call an uptrend phase 2. So I've written it all over here, uptrend phase 2. And then when I drop it down onto the 15-minute time frame, okay, the 15-minute time frame here. So let me take a look at this on the 15-minute time frame. On the 15-minute time frame over here, there was actually a confirmation signal here, right? And then after that, then there was a big sell-off over here. Now let's see if that sell-off is for real, or will it do a higher low to come back around this area. So I'll take a look at 12812. Now, why would I be interested in buying into this area? The reason is, if you go back onto the 1 hour time frame again, right? On the 1 hour time frame, you can see, according to our stretch principle, you took out the upper stretch, okay? So the BRO has a higher chance of forming to the upside today, okay? However, the only thing of concern here is that today the range is already formed in terms of its 80% ATR, right? Even though a bias may be to the long side, but then once it forms this range, it will start to consolidate, it will start to make lower lows and then to come back up again. But we will observe this. The good part is that, let me put the volume on top as well. The good part here is that we did have a good shakeout over here. If it does come back, then you can see that that shakeout over there was not real. And really buying is coming back into the market. And at that point, we will take a look at maybe the 180R level to get to. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on this one here. We'll put even a pending order and we'll see how that plays on to be. Now, in terms of, let me just take a look at that. So let me just give the trade order details in here. And I need to check the volume as well, don't I? So let me see, GBP USD. So we'll put a pending order, not a live order on this one. We must wait for the market to come back to fill us on this one here. So it's 1.2812 and the stop loss being for over here at 120.2774 and target being over here at 2837, which is our 180R number. Okay, so we'll take a look at that on how that goes along. I'll quickly take a look in terms of the volume over here as well. I think my trading view is giving a bit of some issues over here, so maybe perhaps best to leave it. I'm not sure why. It's taking a lot of RAM on this one, isn't it? Not sure why it's doing that. I think to be safe, because it was playing up just now, I will leave that for now. Okay, so let me just close that up on trading view. Maybe perhaps what I can do is, for now, I can just use the temporary volume over here. Not sure, it's just the machine is playing up a little bit, but that's fine. We will make do. And I'll just put one of the volumes over here, on over here, okay? So I'll just use that for now. This is not the best scenario. I should be using it on TradingView, but my TradingView is playing a little bit. Let's see how later on that comes out to be. So we had a good volume over here, but remember that as Gavin says, CEO of Trade Guider, where we partner a lot with in terms of Trade Guider in combining price and volume, you can see that, to see if that volume was towards the buying or not, but you need to wait for the next bar and how that plays along with, okay? In terms of the swing movements, the last bottom to top got confirmed over here, okay? So we are seeing if there's open equity here. All this that dropped over here can just be the dance of the market, but the top hasn't been confirmed yet. It's not the end of the race. So we'll wait and see if that comes back to fill us up or not. Let me quickly move on to euro dollar. Euro dollar has nice strength over here. It's 149. It's done its 180R range as well. I'm just looking for very high probability setups, traders. That's all I'm doing. 124. This is 114 as well. Dollar Swiss was a good one. Over here, we did have some signal. If we had more traders on this, we could have taken some of this as well. So that's something that we're looking out for. And if you guys want to be trained in this methodology, get in touch with us at clientservice@masterthemarkets.net. Now, on gold is on a good one here as well. Bar range 1029. that I'm getting over here. Let me just see. That's not totally giving me the. It's on $100, isn't it? What is that one? Is yeah, it's gone above nicely above the range as well. I can see. Let me just see if I can find something on. This is 693. This is something good on the DAX. What I'm seeing over here. This is something we can look at on the DAX over here. I might keep an eye on the DAX actually. We might have a setup. Let me quickly flick through the rest on the Brent. This we are having $3.09. Silver. I'm having, what am I having here? $1.34. ATR $1.36. It just filled that. And this one is towards the upside. So far on a glance, I can see the DAX actually fitting everything. Let's put this together. Let's do this together now. Now, let me put this together on the table here, on the DAX over here. So let me just clear all this up a little bit so that it's a bit more easier for us to look through. So DAX over here, we are seeing that it's a downtrend phase 1 at the moment, right? So that's a downtrend phase 1. Let me actually zoom in. I know some of you guys have mentioned about zooming in as well because can't really see the chart a bit clearly. So you see downtrend phase 1 is what I've got here. So when I convert this into a line diagram, so this is the best thing we got here at MTM, at Master the Markets, is because this was passed down to us by the quant traders. We've quantified what a top and a bottom is. So with that, we get the line diagrams very clear. So from there, we can have a quantitative approach to the trend, okay? So you've taken out that price structural level over there. It's a strong phase 1 at the moment. OE is a bit low because it's far extended from the top, which is what we got to be careful about, okay? So this is a downtrend phase 1 at the moment. So I will just write that down here on my trend alignment tables. And then over here on the 4-hour, let me take a look at that. On our YouTube channel, there is a trend alignment tables video. I'll show you that in a minute. Just bear with me. So downtrend phase 1 over here as well on the 4-hour. And the 1-hour time frame, let me take a look over here. On the 1-hour time frame traders, let me just squeeze that in over here. On the 1-hour time frame, I'm having a downtrend phase 1 as well over here. Okay, so let me quickly just analyze that. Yes, I'm getting that. And on here, I'm having a downtrend phase 1 too. Okay, this is what I'm having over here as well. Over here, if you had seen, did have a setup on at least 3 time frames over here on 1 ATR. But remember that we had a bit of a volatility spike here before it went down. So those of you who caught this one was good, but let's see if we can capture another one that might set up. Okay. 7 minutes. I know some of you are already trading this on your own account, so well done to some of you who are capturing that. That's really good. So downtrend phase 1 over here as well. Okay. So I'm just going to just quickly check that 141. That would be, yeah, 288, isn't it? This is why we always, over here, we know the MAE numbers, the volatility you got to give. This is why sometimes when people say, oh, Thierry, your stop loss is too far away, it is to give room for that, okay? Because remember, even though it might go against you, that's only unrealized loss, okay? But eventually, when it comes back further down and hits your target, you never see this in your account statement, okay? So this is what you're always after, your actual average profit. I've talked a lot about this in previous videos, to actual average loss. This is the most important thing, traders, yeah? Not many people really understand that. Okay, good. So, and remember, even though some may say that, oh, Thiru, but what if one trader hits that, it takes away about 1.5 times your profits or 2 times your profits. But remember, that's why then there's the reliability of the strategy as well, which eventually leads to your total gross profit. And as long as that overrides your total gross loss, you got your net profitable strategy. So you need to know your numbers. That's what professionals trade with, okay? And also remember that even one trade does that, but that's not your average profit. If your your average loss, sorry, if your other losses are much lower, then it will come down. Okay, good. So I've got all of this right now. So I've got the downtrend phase one also. So everything's aligning on this particular trade, right? But for me to get a new fresh signal, I need that bottom to be confirmed over here, right? For a new signal here, I need the bottom to be confirmed and then to get another dot according to our signals over here, then before we start to take a trade. Okay, now those of you who are a bit impatient, you can go on to the 5 minute if you do want, and you can wait for a 5 minute dot confirmation towards a 1 ATR level as well. Okay, so we can do that. So let me just see on the 1 hour if the OE, there's still some more OE left on this or not. This is on the DAX, that's right. So yeah, so there is that one there left. I'll just take a look at the 15-minute as well. On here, there's 295, isn't it? Over here that is done. Yeah, this is a bit tricky because the 15-minute might reverse, but if you want to take a small trade with a lower risk, we can start to take a look at that. We'll see how this one happens on the 5 minute, okay? So I will put that down on the spreadsheet also, 5 minutes, downtrend phase two, okay? Right, so that's what we got here on the spread. In the lower stretch as well, let me take a look at the stretch levels being taken out. There's only some issues here. The only thing though, is taken out only its upper stretch only, isn't it, traders, right? So this is our only concern in terms of our bar range for now. So the upper one has been taken out, right? So let me just type that into there. 1 ATR, yeah, we'll take that towards there. Has the ATR range been formed on an 80% level? Let me quickly just take a look at that. Let me take a look at that. So 80, so yesterday was 762. So 80% of that, 0.8 times 762, that's going to be 60960. Okay, 60960. Today it's done 693. So it has done that. Okay, whenever it's not done it, we get a bit more stronger signal, higher reliability signal. If you do that early in the morning, you can do that. You can practice this in the morning as well in the London session. But as of now, I will look for shorts on strategy number 2 for it to go past its 1 ATR range, not the 80%, but the 1 ATR range. And I'll see towards, I mean, all the time frames are aligning towards the downside, right? Only that the stretch is towards the upside. Now, why am I talking about the stretch? The reason is, traders, because if you take a look at this bar forming, even though the trend may be down, but for today, I'm looking to capture the range or the BRO, right? If you take a look at this bar, the open is here, right? There's a very small wick to the downside, but the bigger part of the range is towards the upside, right? So even though the trends may all be to the downside, but our bigger range may appear to the upside today in formation of the range of the bar. So that's what we are looking at over here, okay? In this particular thing, because that's why the stretch is a bit of a concern. But I'll keep an eye on this and we will see if we do get any good opportunities or not. If not, we'll just leave it as it is. On the 5 minute as well, we're not really getting it. So I'll leave this on. We'll keep an eye. Not really getting any particular strong signals as of now. On the cable, what's happening is still coming towards the downside. We're not getting a fill. This is why we wait for the pending orders. Now, let me just go back to my trend alignment tables here. Downtrend phase 1, downtrend phase 2. Now, we are getting an uptrend phase 2 here towards the downside. Now, over here, let me just see. towards the downside, isn't it? If we do get it, we can revert that to a short signal, uptrend phase 2 and downtrend phase 2 as well. So let me take a look at that. We're not still getting a confirmation here. And the stretch, let me take a look at the stretch over here. And that's towards the upside as well, isn't it? Is what we are having. So you know what, traders, in terms of the trend, we are getting towards the downside. Let me just analyze this quickly. So I'm getting a downtrend phase 1. This one is downtrend phase 2. Here is an uptrend phase 2. This one is a downtrend phase 2 as well. Upper stretch being formed. We can take it towards the trend alignments, which is all towards the downside, but only the uptrend phase 2 direction is still pointing. So I'm getting all towards the downside here. The only concern again is towards the upper stretch being formed. Not the best of scenarios, but I will see if I do get an opposite dot forming to the downside, then we can take it towards a 1 ATR level, okay? So I'll park this on the side. So I'll just say over here, the first order on the long has not been filled. I would say GBP USD, wait for 15 minutes to confirm on short side. So we'll wait and see on that one there, on how that performs. Now, that's good. So these are the two things I'll be taking a look at on the DAX as well as the GBP USD. On the DAX, we're taking a look on a short, and then this one on a short as well. So I will all along. Okay, it's a bit of a conflict because of the time frame correlation and also the stretch, mainly the stretch. But in terms of the trend wise, GPUSD is still towards the downside over here, which I'm looking at. Now, for those of you who are asking, where can you find out more information? Because some of these terminologies are a little bit above your head and everything. What you can do is, traders, when you head over to our channel, youtube.com/MasterTheMarkets. Now, to get the notifications whenever we go live, click on the subscribe button as well as the all bell icon. Okay, so do that. Once you've done that, every time we go live, you'll get a notification. Now, based on what we have taught you today, I would say the first step would be go to 7steps2ctp.com. Okay, to understand all this terminologies and everything. Name, email, number if you want live trading updates. Click on I'm not a robot and then click on the green button and you will get all the 7 videos being sent to you. Okay, that's what will happen. Right, so that's the thing over there in terms of the 7-step CTP. The other thing is on the YouTube channel, what you can also do is you can take a look at the stretch principle. Okay, videos as well. All right. Now, on the stretch principle videos, that will tell you about the entire bigger range from open, stretch, what does it mean? How did the quant traders like the Toby Crable use that for his own trading and popularized it as well? Okay, very logical, very systematic, which you can apply to any kind of strategy that you want. The only thing we find difficult nowadays in the markets because of ever since President Trump released the tariffs, the market has been highly volatile, especially overnight on the overnight trading hours. Okay, and that's when the ranges get formed, and that's when we struggle with the bias in a direction, and to get the high reliability trades. But if you do want to then move on to strategy number 2, which is more towards an ATR range based on open equities, which we teach about in 7 steps of CTP, then we can do what we are observing at the moment. They just won't be high reliable trades, but they will still have their own pros and cons. Okay, but in terms of that, when something doesn't align altogether, then what we do is we put a lower risk on the trade. Okay, that's what we can look to do. All right. So in terms of this one here, you can see, right, when you wait for the dot, it does save you and preserve your profits from getting unreliable trades. That's why we marry up the volume and the confirmation dots that we have programmed over here at Master the Markets. It will really, really massively help you, okay, get into more cleaner trades, okay? That's what we are looking at. But remember, as I said, I mean, don't get worried about where the stop loss is usually. That's just to give it room for it to breathe before it goes towards its target. You need to give room for its volatility before it goes towards its target. In our live trades that we have caught from before, you've seen all of that. We've shown it to you in real time as well. Let's see if this confirms or not on the 15-minute. If it does, we will start to take a trade on this particular GBP USD. Now on the 15-minute, let me just take a look over here. That will go on to probably confirm the bottom over there, over here, but I'm not getting any signals to go long on this one, so I'll wait for a top confirmation. Okay. The only thing that's going against us is just the upper stretch over there. So I'll wait on GBP USD then to see if it does confirm. I'll keep that on the other screen. Now, going on to the topic for today, it's a pity because I would like to bring up the trading view, but I'm just worried that it might not load up and might create technical issues. So to be safe, what I will do is I'll take a look at some of the other indexes. So how do we approach the markets as of now? The main thing is that the markets are crashing. What do you do, in terms of the um, in terms of considering to buy, right? Because in terms of today's topic, stock market crash, what to do, isn't it? That's on the front line of most people's mind, okay? How do I play this, okay? If you're a trader, do I carry on with the shorts? Or if I'm a long-term investor, what do I do? Is it good time bargains? Should I buy everything at the moment and hold on to it? How should I position myself? So let's take a look at this then, right? On how we should do it. The first thing, I've written some notes over here. The first thing we do in any market crash is we look firstly and immediately at the environment. Okay, we look at the environment. Right. What do I mean by the environment? So the environment. So if let's say if you're focusing on the US stocks, right? Take a look at all the different indexes. Okay. Take a look at the S&P. Take a look at the Nasdaq. Take a look at the Dow Jones. Okay. See what's going on first. All right. And then you check across in terms of technicals, across all those three indexes, right? Across different time frames also. And also then you take a look at the fundamentals as well. Okay. The main question to us is when we are analyzing all of this is this market crash going to continue or is it a shakeout that finally then it bounces off into a strong bull trend? That is the main thing what you're looking to answer by all this analysis. So when I take a look at all of this, so what I will usually do is I'll start off with the monthly time frame. You see, now this is when it reveals to you the true picture. You see, if you're a long-term investor, if you're taking a look at all of this, you see on the monthly, this is what the whole media is shouting about, right? All these big fat red bars and selling occurring and all of that. But still, this is still in an uptrend until it takes out this low. Okay, this is still in an uptrend. Okay, that's what we are taking a look at. So let me put that, and then I can guide you guys to do it on whichever market that you want to take a look at. So let me do this one here. Let me just put this in white, then you'll be able to see everything in correlation. Right? Okay, good. Now, in terms of the weekly time frame, right? In terms of the weekly time frame, this is in a downtrend because according to this framework, and I'm not saying this is the Holy Grail, but according to this framework, according to the tops and bottoms, it has broken that structural level there. Okay. And the upside is towards there over here. Okay. That's what we are having a look at, right? So you can see that in terms of this over here, we are having a downtrend. So on the monthly, that's an uptrend, right? Still phase one, the top hasn't confirmed, right? On the weekly, what you can see is this is a downtrend, phase one, okay? This is what most people are looking at in terms of the shorter term picture, okay? Because it took out that level at 5766, okay, after making that compression. And if you can see over here, it started to compress. The highs were not getting very high before it started to reverse around and turn around. Right, good. So that's first. Now I go on to the daily and we will just stop around there. Right. And then over here, I'm just looking at the overall picture and the environment. Over here, you can see again that it took out that level of the weekly, which was the same as the daily when it turned around. And then now your daily is in a downtrend phase one. Okay. For those of you who wanted to wait for the trend to change and get a true signal, you'd have waited for the price structural failure, wait for this finish, and then retrace back up. And that's your signal there, according to our smart money framework. And then you would have got this nice move on the downside, okay, on the S&P, okay, over there. So do the same thing across the other indexes as well, okay? Do a same thing on the Dow Jones, do a same thing on NASDAQ. You'll get more or less similar pictures. Now, the other thing then, if let's say you are on the Indian market or whatever, then do take a look at the Nifty as well in terms of how it's performing across these 3 time frames, okay? That's the first thing. So I take a look at the environment, especially if you're taking a look at longer term positions in investment perspective as well. Now, for traders, then I would always say is that if you want to take a shorter term position based on your strategy objective, take a look at smaller time frames. Maybe weekly, daily, 4 hour. You can do daily 4 hour, 1 hour also. So it really doesn't matter. But look across 3 time frames at least. Okay, that's the first thing on the environment. Okay, so I covered that. Now, the second thing is after you've looked at your environment, then also then take a look at the your portfolio. Okay, your portfolio in the sense that what are the stocks, what are the commodities, what are the indexes that you're going to consider to invest in if you're thinking of investing or buying into this market crash for looking for bargains. Okay, or as traders, you also need to know your portfolio. Of course, the portfolio can be categorized into either commodities, stocks, indexes, currencies, all of this. You can diversify your portfolio, energy, right? So all of those things, okay, like natural gas and all of that. So that's your portfolio. So define your portfolio and make it as diversified as possible. And as Ray Dalio says, the more uncorrelated it is, that's when you can get a very low risk, a low drawdown, but still your high return, even though you may have many trades on, okay? That's on your portfolio, second thing. Now, the third thing, which is what most people are interested in, which is what we always get questions on, is the timing factor. Okay. When do I get in? Okay. When do I get in into this crash? Now, let's analyze this a bit more deeper. All right. Now, this is the part that most people will be interested in. So listen up on this one here. So you see, the fear in most people is what? Okay. On one part, as an investor or as a trader, one is your ROI, isn't it? Your return on investment. Okay. On that part, when you look at this, is attractive because you're getting such a big bargain, right? So at the moment, the S&P from 6,000, right? It's dropped all the way. The lowest point is dropped to is 4807. Okay, that's about 1,200 points of drop. 1,200 points divided by 6,000, more or less. How much is that? That's a 20% drop, right? When you get a 30% drop, then that's when they call it a recession. Okay, right now. So you got a 20% drop over here, right? So it may look like, okay, this is good. I can buy it cheap. It's a nice bargain. Okay. And long-term investors say, I don't care how long it takes to bounce up. I'll just hold on to it. Okay. But there's another group. which will then say, okay, so you're using percentage drop to see your bargains. Yeah, anything from 20 to 25, maybe you might define. But the other group might say, okay, yeah, you say it's a good bargain, but if let's say I put $10,000 into here at the moment at 4989, but then I don't want to be holding on to this as it does a sideways movement or drops down further, maybe to 4005, 4002, and I keep holding on to it for the next 2 to 3 years before it bounces back up again. Okay, so that's what everybody doesn't want. So even though it's a bargain, but then you don't want to be holding on to it, not making your money return, and holding on to it more or less around the same area for the next 3 years. So then the next part of the equation starts to come in. So one is looking for a bargain in terms of towards the return of investment. The other one is what we call the rate of return. Okay, everybody wants that $10,000 to double within 6 months to a year. Let's say if you just thinking in terms of longer term positions, right? Within 1 year. What you do not want is, you hold on to that for 5 years, and then after that you get 20,000. Yes. So everybody wants this. So then, in terms of timing, okay, in terms of getting a better rate of return as well as not only return on investment, but also better rate of return, what can you then do? So what we usually do, okay, remember one thing as a disclaimer is that you cannot get the timing exactly right. Okay, you cannot get it exactly right. What you can do is your best shot at it. Now, what you can then do in a market like this, if you're looking to buy into it, firstly, of course, we look at the price pattern to form. And the price pattern to form is, I want some kind of a sign that it's making a higher low, okay? Either on this time frame or on a lower time frame. So what do I mean by a higher low is something like this. When it makes a higher low compared to this low over here. Now, if I don't get that, and if it continues to crash, I'm not getting in. This will help me get a better rate of return, at least my best. So this is the first pattern that we look for across any time frame. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is sometimes you might not get that. You might get a what we call a fast V reversal. Okay, a fast V reversal. So you might just show up like that. In that case, then we look for change in market behavior on any time frame where we're getting the price structural breakout at this level where the trend changes at 5766. Okay, so that's the second way. So we have to see how the market moves to give us that clue to get in. So either it's like this, it does a higher low, and that's good because it's still I'm doing my best to get a better price to get in with some higher low being shown, the market showing signs of recovery. Or I need to wait. If it does this, it doesn't show higher low and goes straight V reversal, then I can take it on the breakout of that towards the longer term holding. Okay. So those are the two things that you can do in terms of timing, in terms of getting a better return on investment or a rate of return. But of course, remember traders, you can only do your best on this, right? Because you see, even though you might get a timing like this, there's no guarantee that it won't drop further. But of course, if you are holding it and you bought this position outright, which what longer term position traders do, position time investors do, then you hold on to it. But that's the best that you could do over there in terms of getting a sweet spot between your return on investment and rate of return. Okay, and you do this across all the stocks as well. Okay, we can do the same thing over there too. In terms, actually, on Tesla, I saw a compression move actually towards the downside as well on the daily. Okay, so that's something we can see as well. In terms of all the other ones, the Dow Jones is still on a very strong downside as well that I can see. Okay, over here, let me see if I can put the Dow Jones up or not. Can I see that over here? That's on the US 30, there we go. So let me just quickly just take a look at that. On today, how is it performing? Over here, yeah, a little bit of buying coming back, but nothing concrete. What we need is a stronger higher low forming, and according to our framework, that will really help you quite a lot. Okay, so traders, so what have we observed so far? So we looked at the topic for today. What have we looked on that? In fact, I'll do the whole recap. We looked at some live trading trades and potential trades forming. I need to take a look at the GPUSD and the DAX very shortly. We looked at also the topic, which was in a stock market crash, how do you position yourself? In that, I told you guys to take a look at the environment. The other thing is your portfolio. And then the third thing is then your timing, okay? And timing, think in terms of your ROI as well as your rate of return, okay? That things. And then finally, Q&A, okay? I will see if there's any questions coming up to the messages or whatsoever. But very quickly on the 15 minutes, still, I'm not getting a confirmation. A dot happening is still struggling on. I've got a bottom confirmation here in terms of the DAX. I will take a look on this on the short. So if we do get towards the downside, then I will see if we can put that trade up or not. So for now, we are not getting anything being filled on GBUSD. I'll see if we do get a bottom confirmation, a top confirmation, sorry, before I take this towards an 180R level. I guess traders, that's pretty much what I've got for today. In terms of all our analysis and our live trading workshop for today. A couple of reminders back again, youtube.com/MasterTheMarkets. We go live. Click on the subscribe button. Click on the all bell icon here as well. That will give you the notifications when we go live. Tomorrow we go live with Gavin as well and his team, Trade Guide and his team as well. That'd be great. And then also on the CTP, 7-step CTP, definitely. This will be a very systematic, logical way for you guys to learn this methodology so you can put your name, email, and then and your number, and you can get all those videos sent to your inbox, basically, and you can watch it in your own free time. It will definitely help you in whatever strategy that you do, and also in improving and getting towards consistent performance. Okay. Traders, that's pretty much that from me on this live trading webinar. Pleasure to serve you guys. If there's any trade setting up, we will put it onto the underneath this YouTube video over here. And till the next time, as we always say, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, and keep trading like a master.